Okay. Let's see. Just want to make sure everything's. There we go. Now I got sound on that. Yay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I have my random OCD moment there. Let me make sure I am fully connected. Everything else. Now to double check if I'm actually live, because sometimes I have these issues. Here we go. Okay. Well, that's good. I got people responding. All right, Alex and Trigger, how you guys doing? Great to see y'all. Again, I'm just doing that usual thing where I have to like triple check that I'm actually streaming. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, that's a good sign. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you, Man of Two. Good to see you. Good to see you. Man, what a what a wild ending to that Xfinity race, huh? Um, Connor Zilic would win number 10, and this magical rookie season continues. And not only that, the I think Sammy Smith needs to buy a lottery ticket tonight, because man, was Lady Luck on his side or what? That was crazy. And yeah, I know it took a bit there at the end, but obviously, you want to make sure that everything is 100% correct before making the call. So, let me post here on Twitter. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, how about man, crazy ending to the Xfinity race. Didn't see it. What happened? Um, Basically, um, we were getting down to the wire. There was a caution for Sage Karam. What happened was Sammy Smith just so happened to have a right front going down, and he had to pit. It looked like it was over for him, and the caution just so happened when he was on pit road. So now he's got all those fresh tires. um, Austin Hill had some mechanical problems towards the end, and in the end, it was a tiebreaker between Sammy Smith and Taylor Gray. And unfortunately, that restart, Zilic went to win. Austin Green second, by the way. How about Austin Green, man? He is. I think he's really talented. And obviously he is related to David, Jeff, and Mark Green. Um, yeah, yeah, impressive run by him. But yeah, Zilic got his 10th win of the year, and then they pretty much had to figure out the tiebreaker and where the field was set, because the caution came out on the final lap, so they kind of had to go back and look at everything, and they determined that Sammy Smith got that last spot, and Taylor Gray, along with Austin Hill, Nick Sanchez, and Harrison Burton, are eliminated. So we're down to 8 in terms of the Xfinity Series. Karam's wheel fell off in the chicane. Yeah, that's right. I was kind of multitasking because I was making dinner and watching the race on my phone. But yeah, just a wild finish there. It was fun though. Yeah, but yeah, real impressive by Austin Green. Connor Mozak was looking pretty good there too until he had to pit with the fuel pressure problem. But and I liked that they ran it in the evening. I did. That was cool. So I think Connor Zilic's celebration is just sliding off the windshield, which I absolutely love. I love that every driver at Trackhouse has like their own celebration now. I absolutely love it. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get to see Mr. SVG kick another rugby ball. So we'll see. But with that being said, Red Ben, how you doing? How you doing? Again, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Yeah, man, I can't believe it's October now. Jeez. September ended. Somebody called Green Day, right? I always play that at the end of September every year. Yeah, so today we'll do a couple of SNL 2000 mock races. These will be the last ones until and then next time we do a stream will be with the 2001 cars. So I will show in between the two mock races a little slideshow, a sneak peek of more of SNL 2001. All the races are done. I am now in the middle of production, and the goal is to get it out this month. That's the goal. So I feel pretty good about it, and yeah, I can't say much what happens, but to quote Terrell Owens, former NFL receiver, get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, 2001's coming along really good. So I apologize it took a little longer than expected, but we're in the home stretch just about. We're just about in the home stretch, and I plan on getting the video out this month. So that is the plan. That is the goal. Let me check the roster real quick. The 2000 cars. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. That's good. That's good. That's good. Good, good, good. Yeah, I'm just doing a final check of the cars and all that fun stuff. That's good. Alright, cool. But yeah, the first race we'll do tonight, and I feel like it's fitting just because of there we go. Turn that down a bit. You deserve a lot more subscribers, but I love the small, cozy feel of these live streams. Well, thank you. Well, I'm always thankful of anyone who supports the channel. I really appreciate it. Seriously, it means a lot. So, I thank you guys a ton for all the support you've given me, and we're gonna keep the train going. I appreciate you guys sticking through, and like I said, 2001's gonna be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to show you guys what happens in 2001 Sunday Night Lights, because it is prepare for cinema. That's all I can say. So I'm not going to give away too much. I'll switch over to the race in a second. I was just double checking a few things. Let me see. So obviously NASCAR is racing at the Roval this weekend. We just had the Xfinity race and we had the truck race. Also, before I forget, big congratulations to Butterbean Queen. He is the Arkham and Art Series champion. So congrats to Brendan Queen, well deserved. Where the heck is it? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It was still called Lowe's Motor Speedway back then. How long do I want to make this race? I'll do 28 laps. Why not? Okay. So I think his name is Mark Leifer, I think is his name. He created a 1999 version of the Roval. So I figured that would be the first race we run today. So, again, something fun. I think it would be a ton of fun to do something like that. So that's what we're going to roll with. Excuse me. I'll throw in Ron Fellows for this race. I am going to do a quick simulation to make sure nothing goofy happens. Because I want to make sure, like, you know, there's not going to be like 20,000 cautions. That's a good point. Yeah, the last race for Venturini and possibly Rev Racing. Yeah, it feels like the end of an era. You know, Venturini's has been around in ARCA for a very long time. They've been in there for a long time. So, okay, yeah, I think we're good. So, let's see. There's single race, perfect. Okay, let's make sure that okay. So yeah, we are going to do the 1999, the Retroval. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is made by Mark, I think it's Leifer, or Leifer, Leiffer. He's got a website. He made like an updated gateway for its Cup Series. He made a Daytona Beach course as well, so definitely give that give them a look. Go ahead and sim through practice and qualifying. This looks really good. I like how this came out.
Drivers, to your cars.
And Shauna Robinson will be on the pole. Venturini first entered ARCA in 1992. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember because I remember I met Mr. Bill Venturini last February in Daytona. The Streamline Inn had a bunch of legends up there, and Bill Venturini was up there, so it was cool getting to meet a guy like him. Yeah, Bill Venturini, yeah, two-time ARCA champ, 87 and 91. That's right. And of course, he ran a few races in the Cup Series. But was mainly an ARCA guy, two-time champ, of course. But yeah, so let's
Drivers, to your cars.
Drivers, to your cars. Okay. Oh, okay. So we got Shauna Robinson, Matt Kenseth, Sterling Marlin, Rob Moroso, Ernie Irvin, Dave Allison, Dale Earnhardt, Alan Kowicki, Jerry Nadeau, Patty Moyes. Oh, that's weird. I could have sworn I updated that 47 car. Okay. Yep, I thought I added it in the exports, and I guess it didn't go through, so maybe that's something I can dig out real quick. I apologize for that. Okay. Well, that's my fault. I'll take responsibility. Kyle Petty, Ron Fellows, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Green, Kenny Brack, Tony Stewart, John Nemechek, Jeff Gordon, Casey Elliott, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Tim Steele, Kenny Wallace, Chad Little, Tommy Kendall, Kelly Earnhardt, Paige Jones, Terry Schoonover, Tammy Joe Kirk, Joe Nemechek, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Wally Dallenbach, Alan Sir Jr., Eddie Bierschwell, Rick Mast, Jeremy Mayfield, Bobby Hamilton, Darrell Walter, Bubba Nissen, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So those are the 42 cars running in this race. And for the second race, I am going to... I think I'm going to go ahead. I had an idea, but I think I'm going to let you guys decide. You know, if you guys have any ideas for, you know, what we do for the second race tonight, I'm all ears. So I'll open the floor to that. So yeah, I think it's possible I might have copied over the wrong thing with the 47, so I'll go back and have to check that.
Drivers, start your engines!
Let's see. Hey, Corvette Racing, how's it going? How's it going? So we're running some mock races. The first one we are doing, Mark Leifer's Retroval. It's basically like the 1999 version of the Charlotte Roval. So I think this will be fun. I think this will be a fun one. And again, I'm opening the floor to suggestions for the second race. So this race will be 28 laps. I have 2X fuel and tires. It appears the graphics reset. The graphics also decided to reset itself when I opened it up on my PC. So I'll have to fix that again. I was just trying to get stuff together, going at the last second. Not necessarily the last second, but I was just kind of in crunch time to make sure I got everything ready to go. But besides that, let's go Roval Racing 2000 style. Robinson easily clears them as she heads into turn one. So far, so good on the start. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I gotta say, this all looks pretty good, and especially still having the seating in turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch, like it did back then. It goes hard. It's pretty cool. And we got Matt Kenseth entering the fray, looking to challenge Shauna Robinson for the lead as he powers on the outside. This is going to be interesting as they head towards the front stretch. Very interesting. I just realized, yeah, no chicane there, so very interesting. So they're going to have a lot more speed building up on that front stretch as Kenseth and Robinson remain side by side, and looks like Kenseth might have it cleared for the lead, but Robinson is hanging tough. Rob Moroso looking to pounce as well. Great battle for the lead here between Robinson and Kenseth. The 98 champion versus the rookie. And Shauna looks like now she may have the upper hand. I don't know. Kenseth still side by side. Very impressive, but it looks like Kenseth will now clear Robinson for the lead. It's like Rob Moroso now 1 second from Shauna Robinson. Yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying your Saturday. I just had a 6-day work week, so I just started my weekend, so it's going to be nice to relax and get a lot of stuff done for the video for Sunday Night Lights 2001. Oh man, I had to check some college football scores. Oh, my Cardinals lost to Virginia. Man, close game in overtime too. I meant to check because it was really close in the fourth, man. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Well, that shows they can contend. It's a tough loss, but what can you do? They got a bigger, tough opponent next week. They got to play Miami. Whoo! Miami's like third ranked. But I should check some college football scores. Florida State up 3-0 on Miami, but that's like the first quarter. But yeah. And let me know who you guys got winning the Truck and Xfinity titles, and let me know who you guys think will win the Roval race tomorrow. Well, Trucks, I think, is obvious. It's probably going to be Corey Heim. Xfinity, I mean, can't go wrong with Connor Zilic. You know, those two have been the class of their own series all year long. And then you got the Roval tomorrow. I think Reddick's on pole, SVG starting second. So, you know, I'm curious to see how that goes tomorrow. If SVG can pick up a fifth win this season. Man, that's crazy. So yeah, we're 5 laps in. Matt Kenseth leads the way. Shauna Robinson in second. Rob Moroso in third. Sterling Marlin in fourth. And looks like fifth is Ernie Irvan, 1999 champion. Of course, Kenseth had a solid rookie season in 2000, and he's going to be hungry to try and win in 2001 for sure. Very solid first season for sure, and I know he definitely wants to build off of that. Only speed through that chicane there on the back stretch. Again, no front stretch chicane, so building up a lot more speed as they come off turn 4. I mean, I like how this looks. It definitely looks like something that, it definitely looks like, to me, what the Roval could have looked like back in 1999, 2000. So, definitely a pretty cool looking layout here. Battle for 7th here, Alan Kulwicki and Dale Earnhardt. It's been interesting with Alan Kulwicki. He's become quite the road racer in this timeline. He's won several road course races throughout his Winston Cup career, as Dale Earnhardt's going to clear him. Yeah, it's just crazy that, you know, Alan Kulwicki turned into this really good road racer. It's pretty cool to watch, though, because, again, I've always said you never know what's going to happen in this timeline, and, you know, it shows how different NASCAR looks compared to real life at this point, really. So, reaching speeds of about 174, 75 before having to brake. Kulwicki now under fire from Kyle Petty. And stay tuned after this race. I will be showing a little slideshow of what to look forward to in Sunday Night Lights 2001 without giving too much away. And discuss some of that. And again, I'll let you guys start talking if you want. You know, what you want to see for the second race tonight. So, again, the floor is you guys if you guys have any suggestions. Cletus to trucks in 2026. That would be interesting. I'm trying to think. UCLA beat Penn State? Oh my god. Anyway, let me see. Cletus McFarland. Let me see. Because he did confirm he's going to return to ARCA competition next year. I don't remember if it's full-time or whatnot. Wait, he'll be looking for an 8 to 10 race season. Will attempt some super late model races. Okay, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people have been pointing him to the Dodge Ram program. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to... It's one of those things where we'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, Trigger, I can definitely say that 2001 is definitely cinema. I think in general the season lived up to its expectations. I think you guys are gonna love it. So, trust me, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and you know, I wish I could say more, but I don't want to give anything away. So, but I promise you, you guys will love it, and it'll definitely be worth the wait. So, like I said, I plan on getting this video out within this month. That's the goal. So, I've already recorded footage. I'll talk about that after this race, though. So, and I'll kind of go through everything too. So. After this stream, I'm pretty much going to hunker down and get to work on this video. Can't wait to see some Jamai. Jamai! Yeah. There will definitely be a lot of talking points. For sure. There'll definitely be a lot of talking points, so... See Sterling Marlin there in 4th. Matt Kenseth pulling away a little bit from Shauna Robinson. After Shauna led for about the first couple of laps, it's been Kenseth ever since. You know. But yeah, I mean... You know, when you look back at 2001... 2001 really felt like the year in NASCAR history, right? You know, and there was, you know, you think about the, oop, my game skipped for a moment there. Okay, I thought my game was going to crash for a moment. I was like, no! Don't die on me, please. Rain delay. Anyway, Rusty is inevitable. Need a picture of Rusty Wallace with the meme where they put the red glowing eyes on him. Just put Rusty is inevitable. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like, how far we've come with this. You know, 20 seasons plus and still counting. We're going to keep going. And it's crazy to see how much has changed over the course of those seasons, with certain tracks still being intact, some new tracks that, you know, never once thought about. So fun behind. Oh yeah, this fun behind the scenes fact: the Busch race at IRP for 2001 had to be redone because my power went out. My laptop ran out of battery 15 ago. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And I've had cases where, yes, my game has just decided to randomly crash on me, where it just goes, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Guess I'm redoing that. I definitely have a few behind the scenes. Fun facts for you guys when we get to the video. So definitely remind me of that. You know. If Rusty is Thanos or Shauna Tony. Ah, yes. Super Rusty. I pretty much call him Super Rusty now, thanks to you guys. But it's just been crazy to see his kind of dominance. And, you know, a couple stories for Rusty is You know, can he potentially win a 6th and even 7th title eventually? Excuse me, so sorry. Can he potentially do that? Can he finally win the Daytona 500? Because that's like the one, out of everything he's won, that's like the one thing he has not won, is the Daytona 500. So, you know, could he potentially have his so many years of trying, so many years of frustration, but it's for Rusty Wallace, right? Especially in a timeline where, you know, Dale Earnhardt has won 3 Daytona 500s. Man, I'll never forget when I did the 84 500. It's crazy. That was like 5 years ago, too. Jesus. But, I'm glad I at least have that finish saved as a replay. Because I actually smartened up as I started SNL and said, you know, I should probably start saving replays. You know, I actually have a couple backup drives dedicated to saving the replays and footage from Racing Infinity and Sunday Night Lights in the past, you know. Mainly in case if I ever need to use them again for anything. So, that was kind of my thing. Is, you know, I was like, you never know when I may need these again. Or if I want to use them for anything. They're there, right? So, I can easily just hook up the backup drive and go from there. So, it's kind of where I see with things. Novi Ranger, you think he gets 8? That would be wild. That truly would be something. I mean, at that point, Rusty would be GOAT. I mean, Rusty's already at GOAT status, right? At least I think. Yeah, and of course, you know, you'll be seeing a lot more of the Dodge cars. Dodge is going to be a huge talking point for 2001. I think. Let's see, Nürburgring. Okay, that'd be interesting. I think I used that track for when we did the off-season playoffs. That was pretty fun to do. Please do not kill him off. I promise you, in Sunday Night Lights, nobody's getting killed off. That's one of my top rules with Sunday Night Lights. Nobody is getting killed off. Every driver will have the maximum amount of potential to succeed. Rusty is SNL's Dale Sr. Endless wins and titles, but can't win the biggest race. Coming in 2029. Sunday Night Lights Restart 2. Start harder. Let's see, what car will Dodge run in Stock GT and Super Sportsman? I don't know if I want to give that away just yet, but obviously you will see Dodge there, so definitely stay tuned for that. I will say, I think the cars came out pretty darn good, and I'm going to say it now. The templates that were made by Rose Jam, and they did a tremendous job with them. So, did a tremendous job. Excuse me. Let's see, we're about halfway through. Again, Matt Kenseth still leads, Shauna Robinson second. Kenseth now has a 2.5 on Robinson. How's it going, Ian? Thanks for joining in. And you'll see the roadmap of all the teams that have switched to Dodge. Obviously, we talked about the 3 teams at the end of 2000 that are making the switch over. So, Yeah, Fork in the Road. Yep, they got a new season starting up. Looking forward to that. Saw the trailer earlier today. Also, what was in here? Okay, caught up with those. We have pit stops happening. The Goodyear 400K. I like it. So Matt Kenseth and a lot of the leaders are making their way down pit road. Are we going to get the NR 2003 tradition of a caution happening during green flag pit stops? Because, man, that always seems to be the case. Robinson, Kenseth, Moroso, Irvin, Earnhardt, Kawicki, all those guys making their stops. Looks like Kenseth's going to pull out first. Plenty of space between him and Shauna. And it's Moroso, and then it looks like Ernie Irvin. So, looks like the top four will go unchanged for the time being. Well, plenty of racing left to go. I suspect everyone should make it the rest of the way at this point. I'd be stunned if not. But, hey, who knows, right? And I don't see any lights on, so looks like we will not be getting that traditional caution during green flag pit stops. Yeah, that is true. And man, I was really bummed for Brent Cruz. He had a heck of a run. I was hoping he'd get the win there. I've noticed that, I think I've talked about this before, how you're starting to see a lot more drivers come from the Trans Am scene, like Connor Zilic, Brent Cruz, Tristan McKee, Austin Green, and there's a few others, but I feel like that's kind of like the new wave of developing drivers, and I think that's going to help make drivers more all-round. So, it's just something I've been noticing lately, and yeah. Rusty Zilch. Obviously, we won't get to Mr. Zilch in quite some time, but we'll get there when we get there, right? But yeah, I've noticed that there's just a lot more of drivers coming from the Trans Am scene. And it's really unique to watch, and I think it really showcases that, yeah, road courses are going to be more prominent in the future. You know, I'm saying it's not going to be like 20 road courses or anything like that. I'm saying like probably like 6 to 8, you know, maybe a couple street races that in there. McKee got third in the ARCA finale today. He could be the next man up at PRG when he's old enough. Yeah, that messes with me, man. He's 15 years old. He was born around the same time I started 8th grade. I feel old. Yeah, what you're seeing with Connor Zilic is something that's going to be talked about for a long time to come. It's very historical. You know, 19 years old, won 10 races in an Xfinity in his first full year in the Xfinity Series. He's going to go to Cup next year. He's already won a Rolex 24, a 12 Hours of Sebring. He's won races across late models, across ARCA. I think the MX-5s, like, you put him in a car, he does good in it, you know, and I really think he's going to take Trackhouse to the promised land. I should say next level, to the next level. You know, obviously, you know, Ross Chastain's been great. SVG has, you know, he's been one of the special pretty cool stories this year, right? You know, it definitely, Zilic has become one of the greatest prospects ever. And I do think Trackhouse, with the equipment they're given, I think they do get held back a bit. But we'll see what things look like, you know. Because, man, if Zilic can be in winning form on road courses and Cup next year at least, I think the rest of the field's kind of cooked. So, so, yeah. Excuse me. Let me see. Austin Cindric was born at the same hospital as mine exactly 1 week before I was born. No way, man of Tube. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool fun fact to have. That's pretty neat. You know, I was born December 20th, 1996, so in a way I'm a Christmas baby. Came home Christmas morning. That was pretty much my mom and dad's Christmas gift. 36 wins is a possibility for Connor next season. I think he could. I would love to see him get a road course win at least, right? Obviously, he's going to be learning. He's going to be, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think Connor Zilic is going to be the next Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson kind of caliber driver. God Zilic, I love that nickname. God Zilic will be the Jimmy Johnson of the next generation. I agree. I think he can be. You know, you're 19 years old. You're going to Cup next year. You've won 10 races this year in Xfinity. You have all these accomplishments. You got backing from Red Bull and WeatherTech, especially Red Bull. They're ready to go all in. That is massive, not only for Trackhouse, but I just saw a yellow flag. Not just for Trackhouse, but also for NASCAR in general. That's a pretty big deal, and that is awesome to see. So, all right, let's see what this caution's for real quick. There's got to be something here. I don't see it. Unless maybe I just zoomed past it. This is one of those cases where I sit here and go, like, what was the caution for? Well, the 36 is on pit road, so maybe that'll give us some insight as to... Oh, okay, he just stalled. Okay. So Wally Dallenbach stalls in the middle of the track. Ugh. Tough going there for the 36 car. I started feeling old when Carson Hocevar joined the Cup Series, him being a year younger than me. Carson. He's quite the character. Will Connor Zilic win the last 4 races? He could. You know, obviously last time we were at Talladega, he had that big crash, but ever since that big crash, he's been unstoppable. So, who knows? Everyone else better raise their game if they want to beat him. Yeah, that's kind of how I say with SVG on the road courses. I know people are like, oh, you know, this isn't fun. I'm like, well, now hold on, you know. It's cool to see this. A guy who had all the success in supercars coming to NASCAR, and he's winning. That's awesome. Dallenbach ran out of fuel like Breidinger. It really is the truck race. I didn't realize Breidinger had a pet rabbit, by the way. What did they call it? Fetty Hop or something like that? I love rabbits, so that's adorable. I'm interested to see the potential continuation of Zilic, Van Gisbergen beef that has been brewing. You know, I think at the end of the day, they have a lot of respect for each other. I think Zilic learns a lot from SVG, and I think, you know, there's a chance the two of them can really put on some cinema on the road courses next year, and, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, you look at SVG, who, again, had so much success on, you know, in supercars, came to NASCAR, won in his first ever NASCAR race. And, you know, it was cool. Like I said, getting to be at Chicago earlier this year for the street races and seeing him win both those races, and the fans of Chicago really have embraced him, that's awesome. And I jokingly said, just wait when SVG gets his first Cup oval win at Chicagoland next year. And let me say, man, he's getting better on the ovals. He got that top 10, finally broke that threshold, so that's good. And if he continues to improve, the field might be in trouble. Not gonna lie, I would love to see a manifestation of an SVG Cup championship. One can dream, but it would be awesome. How can you hate that guy? Seriously, how can you hate that guy? Could Robusto turn into a good prospect in a few years? Had a good ARCA season. Is only 20. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. Obviously, I think a successful female driver in NASCAR would be huge for the whole industry. I'm rooting on for Robusto. I'd like to see her get success and see if she can win a race here soon. So, of course, I know ARCA just about all wrapped up, but this year, so it'll be interesting to see how she does next year, and all that stuff. All right, we're gonna get back to racing here with. Let me see here. I believe 6 laps to go, and Shauna Robinson wasting no time. She dives to the inside of Kenseth. She wants the lead. 36 of Diamondbacks back on the track. Shauna Robinson, the megastar, clears for the lead for now, but Kenseth is fighting back on the inside. Rob Moroso trying to see if he could pounce. Now he's contending in there for position. He wants second from Kenseth. Robinson clears the 12. Irvin and Marlin fight for fourth behind them, as we have 6 laps remaining here at the Retroval. I like that, the Retroval. That's a good play on words. The 47 Hayek team was unsponsored for New Hampshire. Does this mean that they're in trouble? I mean, I feel like that team just kind of had a hard reset. That's pretty much what they did. They just kind of wanted a hard reset with things. It kind of makes me think when, if you remember, like, in the late 2010s when it was still Roush Fenway Racing, there was a good amount of races where I can recall one of the cars having Roush Performance on them, which is pretty much a self-sponsor, right? Now, when Keselowski came in and invested into that team's fully sponsored, they're fully funded. They brought in Kroger, that brings in all those associates, so, Cincinnati represent, by the way. But, yeah, so, I think it seems like most of the season they've been sponsored, so, they've always had something on the car, so, I don't think it's time to hit the panic button just yet, so, I think the team's just kind of going through a big reset right now, and I'm sure we'll be looking for more sponsorship opportunities for 2026, Stenhouse, who has some wins under his belt, obviously a Daytona 500 win, can't take that away from him, so, man, that was my first Daytona 500 in 2023. I just still remember that wreck happened, and then I looked over and I went, oh my god, Stenhouse? I was like, oh my god, Ricky Stenhouse just won the Daytona 500. This is insane. So, how about that for my first 500? So that was, I'm honored that I've gotten to go to 3 of them now. So, not sure if I'll be able to go next year yet or not, but if you can go. It is so much fun. Robusto will be the best female driver if she gets time to develop. Oh, certainly. I'd love to see it. Makes me think about other female drivers that will eventually come along in Sunday Night Lights, and who's going to take the female spotlight in the Cup Series. When eventually Patty and Shauna are done racing. Who's going to fill in those gaps. Kelly Earnhardt hopefully can get a breakthrough. Obviously, we get Tammy Jo Kirk, potentially Kelly Williams, and there's some others. So, it's definitely something. That's something that's been really fun about this timeline. It's just the fact that, you know, that 1989 Michigan race, that random '89 Michigan race, just changed everything. And when Patty won that race, I sat there and went, I have to go back and see what I said in the server, but I was like, so this changes a lot, doesn't it? And it did, and for the good, because I think, you know, NASCAR is showcasing that they're a powerful co-ed sport is, to me, could be a big deal. So, got 18 viewers in. Again, I appreciate you guys for stopping by tonight. And oh, another yellow. That will probably end the race then. Oh no! What happened to Dale? Not Dale. Ooh, looks like he and Davey Allison. Uh-oh. Looks like they're heading into turn one, and oh, Dale just gets right into Davey, and Allison hard into the tire barrier, and right into the heartburn turn, and I guess Davey didn't, he hits the 3. I guess he really didn't appreciate what Dale did there, and everything else, so. Let's get on board with Dale here, see what in the world happened. Whoops. And Dale just kind of went too hard into the turn there and right into the heartburn turn. So yeah, I guess Davey really didn't appreciate what Dale did there. So that will bring out the caution. That will probably end the race. And Shauna Robinson is your leader. Yep, that will. Davey, the disappointment strikes again. Do other women's sports feel like the Shauna Robinson effect, like our timeline's Caitlin Clark effect? That's a possibility. You know, never really thought about that. You know, I think, yeah, maybe people would refer to certain things like that as like the Patty Moyes or Shauna Robinson effect, right? You know, can't dismiss Patty. She's the one who started all this. I've jokingly have said Patty Moyes walked so Shauna Robinson can run in this timeline. On a non-NASCAR note, do you think Alex Palou will continue his dominance? 4 titles in the Indy 506 season, and he's only 28. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. You know, does he run IndyCar the rest of his career? Does he eventually get to like age 32 and say, hey, maybe I'll go do something different? Does he go try Formula 1? Does he go try sports cars? Heck, does he try NASCAR? You know? So, especially when you continue that dominance that early, you know, there's a chance that you're like, okay, I've done everything here. What can I do? What can I do else? You know, what else can I do? So, you know, I remember, you know, I was at the Indy 500, of course, this year, and I just kind of went, well, Palou finally got that oval win, so it's kind of crazy that that was like his first oval win. Davey has such a weird career. Champion, but can't win races. Yeah, he's had the weirdest career by far in Sunday Night Lights. For sure has had the weirdest career. A second car's hit the Tums heartburn turn. Oh, man. So, yeah, like I said, for the second race, if you guys have any suggestions whatsoever, feel free to comment what you potentially would want to see, and I'll see what's a good option to do. So, yep, feel free to comment what you guys want to see as the second race, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, this race will end under caution. At least this race wasn't anything like insane. I was sitting there like, I really hope it's not like cautions out the wazoo, half the cars DNF, you know. Luckily that wasn't the case. So. And again, here in a moment, I will show a little more of a sneak peek into 2001 and go from there. So, there you have it. Going through turns 3 and 4 of the oval. Pace car leads the field back to the start-finish line. Oh, excuse me. And checkered flag will wave. And Shauna Robinson will win at the Retroval. There you have it. Shauna Robinson, your winner. Matt Kenseth, the second. Sterling Marlin, third. Rob Moroso, fourth. Ernie Irvan, fifth. Kyle Petty, sixth. Jeff Green, seventh. Rusty Wallace, eighth. Paige Jones, ninth. And Alan Kulwicki rounds out the top 10. See, I know somebody suggested Nürburgring, Pigs Creek, okay. Fakiza Freeway. Oh yeah, that's the South Africa track, right? That's right. I knew that sounded familiar. Huh, interesting. If the Kansas Roval existed for NR, I'd suggest that, but we can't have nice things. That would be fun. Or the Gateway Road Course. I know that's in iRacing. Yeah, it hosted an exhibition race in early 2010. Yeah. All right. Yep, Jeff Bodine did run in that race. You are absolutely correct. All right. So there's a look at your finishing order. I'll let you guys take a look at that for a moment. So we're about an hour into the stream. Okay, that's good progress. I know somebody made Fakiza Freeway, so I may look into that. So I don't think I've done anything with that track quite just yet. So, and then there's the rest of your finishing order there. So. Excuse me. Take a drink here. All right. So, hang tight here. Let's see. All right. They used to host MotoGP. Okay. Would have been cool to see that track get off the ground, for sure. Just because it's like a international track. Okay, let's see. Tracks. Let me make sure that Streamlabs did not mute me for no reason. There we go. Sometimes when I minimize the window, it'll just randomly mute me for whatever reason. That's right, Beeline's design made this. NR 2003 Career UI. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Make sure I'm still good. Okay. So, the next order of business before I do that is showing you another look at SNL 2001. This is just a little slideshow of what to expect without giving too much away, but these are screenshots from 2001. So obviously you've seen Kansas Speedway because that's a track that did debut in 2001. So, again, you guys deserve a few more sneak peeks. And, yeah. So, where we currently lie is, again, all the races are 100% complete. Done. They are done, saved, signed, sealed, delivered, done. So, the 2001's in the books in terms of races. The next thing is, I have already began recording footage for the video, of course, and I can confirm that I have footage done for Stock GT, Super Sportsman, and IROC. So, my plan is, the next few days, to just sit down, use my weekend to get Truck, Busch, Cup done, and then by sometime this coming week, start the video. And hopefully that takes a week or two. Then at that point, once I am fully comfortable of setting a date, I will get you guys an official date as soon as humanly possible. But the plan is to get the video out this month. So, Sean is just standing there looking all messy. Wait, I gotta do my Patrick Star impersonation. Hold on. She's just standing there, menacingly. Get out of there, SpongeBob! So, yes, Trigger knows what I'm talking about. That Truck Series logo looks cool. Yes, that's just trying to be more detailed. I just decided if we're going with the Super Truck thing, let's just smack the decal on all the trucks. So, I will say that. I did do that. So, yeah, it looks really nice. You can tell, you see Jeff Green's car right there with the updated Budweiser logos as well. Yeah, obviously, again, I can't give anything away. Of course, you see Kansas there. But I can tell you that I think 2001 really lived up to the expectations. And, again, get your popcorn ready because I think you're going to see a lot of cinema. So, this has definitely been a fun season to do. So, I'm really excited to show you guys. So, give it a little bit more time. My promise is to get it out this month. So, that is the goal. Excuse me. Did you see the SpongeBob car that Nemechek's going to run? Yes, I did see that. That's so... You know what's funny? It seems like it's always Jimmy Johnson and SpongeBob. Jimmy Johnson drove the SpongeBob movie car back in '04 in that Busch race. It was him and Kyle Busch. I got those 2 die casts at my dad's place. I do have those 2 die casts. They're at somewhere in my dad's house in St. Louis. And then 2015, Jimmy Johnson wins the SpongeBob SquarePants 400 at Kansas Speedway. And now, 2025, SpongeBob is on one of the cars that Jimmy owns. So it all comes full circle. So I did see that. That is so cool. I love it. And please, Lionel, please make a diecast. I will pre-order it instantly. I will definitely get that diecast. So I love stuff like that. That's cool. Super Truck Series sounds cooler anyway. I made the updated Truck Series logo. Yeah, Jet made the updated Truck Series logo. And yeah, pretty much the Super Truck name, just giving it a more unique identity. Exactly what he said, because of the other series that we have with Super Sportsman and Stock GT. So, excuse me. Again, I had quite a few screenshots that I already took. And I kind of had to pick between, okay, I need to pick the ones that don't give a lot away. You know, obviously, you see Adam Petty's 40 car in that shot there. But yeah, so really good progress is being made. You know, I think, you know, I'm feeling pretty good about things for sure. So, stay tuned. Good Lord, Streamlabs. Anyway, I'm in the middle of talking and it just goes, all right, time to mute. Anyway, see, that's what happens. I minimize or you know, don't have my focus on the Streamlabs thing, and it just goes, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and mute you now. So I'm like, no, I didn't want that. So anyway, let me do something really quick here. Does Jimmy Johnson love SpongeBob or something? I mean, it's possible. It's like, you know, wow, check it out, Patrick. It's our old friend Jimmy Johnson. Hi, Jimmy. You know, so what am I doing? Yeah, I'm proud to say I can do some good voice impressions. I can do Beavis and Butthead. It's like, whoa. Jimmy Johnson is cool. Yeah, he's cool. But yeah, so yeah, Epic Memer, how you doing? But yeah, it's always funny that it's come full circle with Jimmy always driving the SpongeBob car. So I think it's cool. Again, I love stuff like that, and definitely need more of it. Alright, Fakisa Freeway. You know what? We'll do the South Africa track. Why not? That could be fun. The one that Beeline's design made for... that's on StuNod, if you want to check that out. So, 2001 champions, whoever they are, walk away as the happiest people on planet Earth. Yeah. I agree. I think they will. Will IROC keep its current track lineup? I won't give anything away, but stay tuned on that when the video comes out. That's a cool Beavis and Butt impression. I've been binging that show lately because the new season, they have a new season out right now, so I've been watching all the new episodes. And what they do now with the newer series is they reserve one episode for a version where they're like middle-aged, you know. And the episode was like, they're about to get evicted, and Butthead was convinced that if he just started getting really fat that he couldn't fit throughout the door, they wouldn't kick him out. So, it's just like, they succeeded at first, but then they just drilled a hole in the wall, and they had to crane Butthead out. He's like, we failed. So, you know. I don't know. I just that show's so funny, and it's always been funny. So, is Dale Jr. at DEI in SNL 2001? Just because it was talked about in 2000, do expect that. Yeah. Just because I've already brought that up before, so that was always the plan. You know. What are their cartoon voices? Boy, well, I can do Hank Hill's impression pretty good. I'll tell you what. There's nothing more than enjoying a nice sunset in this crazy world. Yeah. Remember when Jimmy drove? Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. The Madagascar car. Yeah, because Jimmy came out with the circus afro. I remember that. I got a funny story about Madagascar 3 real quick before I go on to the next race. So, fun fact. I saw the third movie in theaters, but I only saw like 2/3 of it. It was the one time I got to go to one of those drive-in theaters, those outdoor drive-in theaters with the big screen. Man, I'd like to do that again sometime. That was a lot of fun. I think that was 2012, 2013, I want to say. But, yeah, I remember what happened was the reason why I saw 2/3 of it was because, no joke, the film burned up. It actually burned up during the middle of the movie. And we're all just like, huh? What the heck? What just happened? And they had to get on the intercom and say, we apologize. We're not going to be able to get the film to continue for the rest of the night. And we ended up having to go home. So it was just the one time I ever saw that occur. So it was kind of crazy. So there's my Madagascar 3 story. I don't remember if I saw the second one. Of course, I remember seeing the first one in theaters too. I look back at all the movies I've seen over the years. I did see the first SpongeBob movie in theaters. That was a enjoyable experience. Were there refunds? Were there refunds? I don't remember. Honestly. But I mean, it was just like, oh well, what can you do? 2012-13, back when Jimmy was still kicking everyone's ass. Hey, respect greatness, right? That's how good he was. When the Smurfs kissed the bricks in Indy after Newman won the Brickyard 400. Let me look that up. Madagascar 3 was 2012. I know because I had the diecast. Okay, I thought it was 2012, but I wasn't sure. I was like, it has to be 12 or 13. I was leaning towards that it was 2012. It was a COT, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot Newman drove the Smurfs Quicken Loans car during that race. I remember that. That was his second to last win, because his last one was 2017. It's crazy to think, man. Remember when Ryan Newman drove those races for Rick Ware a couple years ago? I forgot Ryan won the Brickyard and the Smurfs paint scheme. I remember at Kentucky one year, I think it was 2015, when Carl Edwards drove the Minions car. I remember that. At least I think it was. Let me check. Carl Edwards Minions car. Yep. Kentucky. Yep. I remember seeing that car live. I'm pretty sure I got pictures of that car somewhere. Fun fact. Yeah, it was 15 because that was before the repave. What are the Dodge teams in 2001? So, I will tell you the ones I did confirm. You do have Evernham coming in with the Elliott Melling operation. You do have that. You do have... Who else did I... Ganassi. And then Jarrett Favre. So, that's all I can tell you right now. Obviously... In the video, I'll go over the driver lineups and all that fun stuff. Okay, before I get into anything else, let's dive into the next race. So, Fakiza Freeway. I think I said that right? Fakiza? Something like that? Yeah, we'll do that. Wait a minute. Hang tight. Let me do something really quick. It's one of those things where I'm like, wait, I have to do this. All right. I would say Bill Elliott's team is just like forming into Evernham's. So similar to real life. It might be Pat Keza. Yeah, it might be that. Pardon my French. Pardon my pronunciation. I should say my English. All right, we are in South Africa for the next race, right? So yeah. All right. All right, so it looks like. Why did that mute? So it looks like Marlon and Moyes will be on the front row for this race.
Drivers, to your cars.
So we got Marlon, Moyes, Earnhardt, Paige Jones, Davey Allison, Tim Richmond, Ernie Irvan, Joe Nemechek, Shauna Robinson, Jeff Green, Kyle Petty, John Nemechek, Alan Kawicki, Bubba Nissen, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Jerry Nadeau, Kelly Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Kenny Brax, Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Rob Moroso, Tommy Kendall, Tim Steele, Kenny Wallace, Casey Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Terry Schoonover, Alan Sir Jr., Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd, Eddie Bierschwell, Rick Mast, Terry Labonte, Chad Little, Bobby Hamilton, Darrell Waltrip, Wally Dallenbach, Tammy Jo Kirk, and Jeremy Mayfield. Bill will have a minority ownership low, unlike real life, because of his team's success in the lower series, and partially also because Casey is there. Yeah. Yes, Ganassi did purchase SS Motorsports. Schoonover Speed have the minority roles, kind of like Sabatis did in real life, but yeah, Ganassi did buy that team. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Minions car. I'm trying to remember what other schemes I remember. I remember when I went to the 2005 Bristol Fall Race, there was like a few Cartoon Network cars. Trying to remember. And I remember Bobby Labonte had the Powerade LeBron James car, because that's how long ago that was. Sharpie 500. Yeah, Kyle Busch had the Johnny Bravo car. That's right. Sapco is still its own operation. Yes.
Drivers, start your engines!
Yes, because Sapco just has way more success in this timeline, so, you know, at that point, they're just fine being where they are. Yeah, Scooby-Doo and Johnny Bravo. That's right. I think Brian Vickers did the Scooby-Doo car. Excuse me. Yep, Kyle Petty in 92 and Robinson 98 are their championships. If I remember correctly, I think this track was based off of Vegas. Yeah, that's right. Bobby Labonte had the Powerade LeBron James car in that race. And I think I remember Dale Jarrett dumping Ryan Newman. Yeah, and that's how long ago that was, man. Can't believe that's been 20 years. Good God. Anyway, Bobby Labonte had a small soldier's car in 1990 Pistol 400. Yeah, I think you're right on that. Okay. Let's go racing in South Africa. 67 laps. giant barrier is going to be in the way for the race. We can barely see. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Huh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I'll switch to TV too then, see if that's better. Alex, thank you for pointing that out. This is the Pakiza Freeway. This was the oval that was built in South Africa that hosted that one exhibition race in 2010 that had Jeff Bodine in it. This is on Stunad. It was made by B Lions Design, so if you guys want to check out this track after this, you can. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Shauna Robinson was a Busch Series champion. Yeah, I mean, she's always seems to be winning in the big moments, you know? She's had it good. She's one of 2 drivers. I looked it up. She is currently one of 2 drivers to have won all 4 Crown Jewel races so far. I may have mentioned who the other one was, but I'll let you guys guess who that second driver is, if you guys have any guesses. Vuvuzela is not included. Yes! That's how I got into soccer, was watching, because I was just interested in the World Cup, and I was like, I had just moved cities. You know, while my dad went to work, I was like, you know what, I'll entertain myself and watch some of these World Cup matches. And I remember watching the opening match. It was South Africa and Mexico. I think the game ended in a 1-1 draw. But I remember when South Africa scored that goal and the entire team started doing a little dance. It was pretty cool. I was like, you know, that's special for those people. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I do remember the Vuvuzelas. Maybe down the road, say if I decide this track's going to host an international exhibition at some point, and I should just get the Vuvuzela sound effect playing in the background during the entire race. Or Racing Infinity, if I do something like that. Just have the Vuvuzela sound effect just to be funny. Rusty is still missing a 500. If he retires without that, he will be clowned on forever. Yes, it's obviously, if he doesn't win one, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, what if? Kind of like Tony Stewart, you know? He's pretty much done everything but win a 500, you know? And I know he said he would trade those summer Daytona wins for a 500 in an instant. It's not Dale Earnhardt. Dale is not... I think Dale has... 5-time champs don't get clowned on. That is true. So yeah, it's not Earnhardt. I think the only race he has not won is the Brickyard in this timeline. So, keep guessing. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, we're still quite a ways from that. I mean, we're at the other end of the 2000 decade right now, where we're just getting things started with that decade. But, yeah, I do eventually want to get to, like, the 2010s and the 2020s. So, what do you think is the greatest moment in SNL history? Michigan 89, Daytona 94, Indy 96, Atlanta 98 are top contenders. It is not Kyle Petty. It is Alan Kulwicki. Yes. Alan Kulwicki is the other driver so far in SNL who's won all 4 Crown Jewels. Kulwicki won the 600 earlier in his career. And then 97? Yeah, 97 he won the Brickyard. And then 98 was the Daytona 500. 99 was the Southern 500. Or was it 98? Hold on. Don't even remember my own frickin' winners. Fake fan. Anyway. Thank God I actually have a sheet where I've written all this down. So, Kulwicki won the 89 600. He won the 98 500. 97 Brickyard 400. Oh, duh. Shauna won the 99 Southern 500. Kawicki won the 2000 Southern 500 to put him in this category. And with Shauna, of course, 94 2000 Daytona 500, 96 Brickyard 400, and then the 99 600 and Southern 500. So she actually managed to sweep them both. Yeah, 2000 was the Darlington one. Yeah, I corrected myself. So I know he won the Southern 500. I wrote it down. But yeah. Yeah, those are currently the two drivers who have won all 4 Crown Jewels. So I would say Rusty's close, Dale's close. I want to say Kyle Petty's close. But anyway, 12 laps are complete. We got Paige Jones out in front. By any chance, do you use OneNote? I use it to keep stats and rosters for both real life and fictional series like yours. I do not, but I have used a Google Doc, like a Google Sheet, I have every year from 81 all the way to 01, and I have all the races on there, who won the pole, who won the race, who won the titles. I have a main info page of like notable winners and stuff like that and champions throughout the years. That's how I do it. I guess OneNote could always be an option, but yeah, I have a huge Google Sheet where it has all the different winners and stuff. I wouldn't say Jeff Gordon's a bust. He's been good. He hasn't won. I think it's just because he was so dominant in real life and he just hasn't won as much. And not only that, he did join just like a startup team that got a lot of funding from Ford. Jeff's been good. He just hasn't been dominant like he was in real life, but still definitely one of the top contenders in the Winston Cup for sure. I use it for driver lineups. Gotcha. I do use the sheets as well for driver lineups too and stuff like that, so. Yeah, let's see. Sometimes I forget the weird winners. Yeah. Definitely had my share of those in SNL, but it's all fun. It's all a lot of fun, so. It's been fun getting to do this kind of stuff. Buddy Harrington won Michigan one year. Yes, he did. And Sunday Night Lights, J.D. McDuffie's one win came at Michigan. Also worth noting, after nearly a decade, Gordon was still the third youngest Cup driver in 2000. That's wild. That is wild. And James Hilton and Tommy Gill. Yeah. Of course, that was 5 years ago when I was still figuring stuff out, but I don't know. Still kind of cool to look back on and see all that, so. So yeah, Daytona 500 winners throughout the years. We let me see here. 17 laps already. Wow. If I pronounce this right, Enyi, how you doing? Yeah, I'll go ahead and list off the Daytona 500 winners. So 81 to 2000. 81 was Tommy Gale. 82 James Hilton. 83 was Kel Yarborough. 84 Dale Earnhardt. 85 was Darrell Waltrip. 86 was Jeff Bodine. 87 was Bill Elliott. 88 was Dale Earnhardt for his second 500 win. '89 was Dick Trickle with Roush Racing, because Mark Martin was with Bud Moore. 1990 was Morgan Shepherd. 1991 was Eddie Bierschwell. 1992 was Bubba Nissen. 1993 was Joe Nemechek driving for Hendrick as a rookie. Of course, 94 was Shauna Robinson. 95 was Earnhardt's third 500. Shauna nearly won her second. 96 was Ricky Rudd with Hendrick. 97 was Kelly Earnhardt. 98 was Alan Kawicki. 99 Chad Little. And 2000 was Shauna Robinson for her second 500. So I can just jokingly say 2001 was redacted information. It's like that one Patchy the Pirate special. This letter is from name and address withheld. You know. Did Roy Smith do anything after he won that Daytona duel race? I think he ran some races, but didn't really do much. It's been a while. I'd have to look back at the results, because I have all the results backed up somewhere. Oh yeah, I never answered what was the greatest moment in SNL history. Oh man. I mean, Michigan '89 was obviously the first female cup winner. Daytona 94 was Shauna shocking the world. 96 was Shauna becoming the first female winner at Indy. And then Atlanta 98 for the championship. Of course, there was also stuff like the International All-Star in 96. Man, those are all great candidates. I would say first maybe Michigan '89, because that was like the domino effect that created the other three that were named there. So, I think the strong case can be made for Michigan '89 with Patty Moyes. So, yeah. I have a question. In future seasons, will you use the Splash and Go Cup 0305 mod, or will you use the original cars from the game? Sorry if my writing is strange. I'm using a translator. Oh, no worries. Nothing set in stone yet. I would probably say leaning towards the Cup 0305 mod. Again, nothing set in stone yet, but that's probably what we'll head in. I don't know yet. So that's something we'll have to talk about. Atlanta 96. Yeah, the championship, Nissen and Moroso. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because Nissen is this timeline's Kawicki, even though Kawicki himself has had a great career and is now in the process of transitioning into a even greater owner. So, and kind of setting his team up for the future after he eventually retires. But yeah, it's and again, Nissen's been one of the poster childs of SNL just because he just started winning when we started doing the Busch series, or I guess it was the Budweiser Late Model Sportsman series or whatever it was at first. But it's kind of crazy that he ended up turning out to be this great driver when in real life we hardly know anything about the guy. So in a way, that's kind of special, you know? I've always loved that. So he's had a great career too, for sure. So obviously he hasn't won in a couple of seasons, so hopefully maybe 2001 he'll change that. We'll have to wait and see. So I think Rob Moroso's 96 was a one-season wonder. He's kind of fallen off since. I would say Moroso, he's still been decent. He's still been good. Let me check. Because he won. Let me check here. Won 3 races in 97. Won like 4 races in 98. 99, he won a couple races early in the season. Correction, he won 3 races. And I know 2000, he didn't win until Homestead, which was the second to last race of the season. So, it'll be interesting to see how he does in 2001, but he's been winning, just hasn't really gotten back into the championship fighting scene, so. Of course, some of that just has to do with how good Rusty Wallace has been. As you see, Sterling Marlin taking the lead from Paige Jones, just about 30 laps complete here in South Africa. How do you find some of these drivers who barely show up on Wikipedia Racing Reference? We do a lot of research. Lately, I've been getting better at organizing like what drivers come in at what years. And obviously, we've all been doing a lot of research on that stuff and making sure, what drivers can we include, what drivers we can't, what drivers we're able to and not, trying to squeeze everybody in, right? And there's only so many spaces. So, I know Jet used, I'm trying to remember the site he used to find other female drivers, and that's how he discovered Kelly Williams. So, has Al Unser Jr. done anything in his part-time Cup starts? He did run full season in 2000, struggled, but we'll see if he can rebound and stuff like that. By any chance, would you make it so IndyCar becomes one of the storyline series? Just because we got some green flag pit stops happening. As of right now, we're just already doing a lot. So, but obviously, if there's anything of note that changed, we'll bring it up. Like, for example, how with Kenny Bracken NASCAR, instead of him winning the Indy 500, Jeff Ward ended up winning it because he finished second in real life. So, stuff like that. But if it's worth noting, definitely talk about it and stuff like that. Obviously, we pointed out that Ayrton Senna is still alive in this timeline. And stuff like that. So, obviously, you just don't want to, overdo anything and stretch things out. But, yeah. Oh, I need a drink. So Marlin gets ahead of Paige Jones. I think Paige is trying to pass him here. Well, he tried it. Won't be long before we see Mara Reyes. I think I may have told you about her. She is very accomplished in a handful of championships in her native country of Mexico, like the Mustang Cup and Tractor Truck. She ran the Mexico City race in 2005. Mara Reyes. Okay. Huh. Oh, yeah, this is a picture of her next to the... She drove the 49 car. Yeah, okay. Very interesting. Okay. Thank you, Jet. Yeah, womeninracing.org. Yeah. It's an old site that hasn't been updated since 2014, but there's some cool nuggets on there. And I have compiled a list of upcoming female drivers as well. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thinking about getting Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Nintendo Switch. That'd be cool. Looks like Paige Jones took the lead back. Rob Moroso is there. Rose Jam. What is it, The Simpsons? Nerd! Anyway. Williams was the first and ultimately only woman to win a cast car race in 1994, so we gave her a shot in Super Sportsman. Look what happened. Yeah, you never know, right? So. That crashed with Eric Martin. Wasn't that Deborah Renshaw who got in that wreck? That wreck with Eric Martin. So we got about coming to the line. We'll have 30 laps to go. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Battle for second going on back there between Sterling Marlin and Rob Moroso. Looks like Marlin is going to take second back and work on the 93 of Paige Jones. Williams also drove an AOL Ford with the RCR 31 on it at one point. If you want to really look up a cursed car. Let me see. ARCA received criticism because its regulations did not require spotters to be located at the top of the grandstands. Renshaw's spotter was standing on top of the team trailer and thus could not see the wreck and communicate its location to his driver. Thus, despite the fact that 16 seconds, an eternity in racing passed between the initial crash and the fatal collision, not all drivers were notified of the crash. Renshaw was herself criticized because although several other cars with similarly situated spotters managed to see Martin in time and slowed considerably before avoiding him, Renshaw did not see the car stopped on the racing line until it was too late for the fatal incident. After the incident, ARCA mandated that each car that went onto the track had to have an assigned spotter in the spotter stand, and a yellow warning light was mandated to the car's dashboard that illuminated when a caution was declared on the track. Okay. Anyway. Paige Jones looking to pull away now from Sterling Marlin. After Marlin led for a bit, looks like Jones has had the upper hand since those pit stops. But what will be interesting is that he does have some lap cars ahead. Has John Nemechek been good in Cup? He's had some solid runs, just hasn't won yet. But he's had moments where he's come close. Just kind of waiting for that big breakthrough, you know. Excuse me. .45 laps complete. Paige Jones has a 1.3 second lead on Sterling Marlin. Rob Moroso sits in third. Matt Kenseth is fourth. Jeff Gordon is fifth. So far, so good. Paige Jones has dealt with lap traffic pretty well as he gets past the 23 of Darrell Waltrip. Any Seether fans in the chat? Bring this up because they're from South Africa. Huh. I didn't realize they were a South African group. Okay. I know them for the song Remedy. I do love that song. Going back to the Remedy. Oh, I don't want to start singing the song. YouTube might kick my butt. Anyway. John would have probably went to a second Nemco Cup car in real life if he survived Homestead. Yeah, it's possible. Definitely possible for sure. Marlin's still trying to work around lap traffic. Now he's under fire from Matt Kenseth, who's looking to take second. Because we saw him running up front at the Roval until that caution came out and Shauna Robinson passed him for the win. The Romney song has been used in a bunch of NASCAR crash comps. That is true. I've noticed that in the past. Definitely a good song to use for NASCAR. I remember I used to play the Guitar Hero game on the DS. They had that little thing that you attach to the bottom of it, and you put your hand through the strap, and you press on the buttons with the little guitar pick as you flick it across the screen trying to play the thing. I got that for my birthday one year. And I know Remedy was on that song. If you want me, hold me back. You know. Yeah, I do remember that very well. That's how I first heard of that song. It's like how I first heard of System of a Down playing ATV Off-Road Fairy 2 as a kid, because their song Science off their Toxicity album was in that game. Sorry. Anyway, almost sound like Beavis and Butthead when they go, you know, Nightcrawler. Alright, so we have about 16 laps to go or so. Paige Jones out in front, still looking good. Almost a 2.5 second lead. Looks like Kenseth has closed the gap just a little bit now. 2.2 seconds back. Paige Jones looking to get around Al Unser Jr. now. And the Powerpuff Girls Cartoon Network Chevrolet. And Jones will do just that. Alan Kawicki on pit road. Not sure what happened there. Oh, he had a problem. He's 31 laps down. Okay. I didn't realize that. I'll have to go back and see what in the world happened. Of course, Paige Jones got his first career Winston Cup win back in 2000 at Road America. So we'll see how he does in his sophomore year for 2001. I've been watching a bunch of old NASCAR races recently. I watched the 2001 Subway 300 at Talladega, not realizing until I heard that it was where the Jimmy Spencer Never Forgets quote came from. Nice. Looks like Paige Jones is going to pit. We're going to have some late pit stops here. Looks like just about all the other leaders are going to make their way down. See if anybody else potentially stayed out. Yeah, it looks like all the leaders pretty much are making their way down. Looks like Marlin may have pitted the lap before. Looks like, yeah, Marlin actually did pit the lap before. So we'll see if that gives him the advantage, perhaps. And Jones will get out in front of Kenseth. Jimmy Spencer was running part-time in the Busch Series. That's what he was up to in 2000. There's Marlin. There's Moroso. Moroso to the inside of Kenseth. So we got a 3-car battle, and Moroso's going to get by Jones. So the two MB2 cars, I'm assuming, are pitting now, but Rob Moroso has taken the lead with 11 laps to go. We're going to come to 10 laps to go this time by. Moroso now works by Joe Nemechek. And Bobby Hamilton there in the 10. Back to the line, it is still all Rob Moroso, I am guessing. Although it's still marking the 36 out in front. Okay, yeah, somehow Dallenbach's actually still the leader. I had assumed he had pit, unless he's on a different pit strategy or if I missed something, Dallenbach has a few wins in his career, most notably the inaugural Brickyard 400 back in 1994. Well, Moroso has gained 2 seconds on Wally Dallenbach, so again, I don't know if he's on a different strategy or if he's staying out, but we have 7 laps remaining. Revenge of Dallenbach after last race. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's about to get passed by the 4 of Kenny Wallace. Yeah, Moroso gained another 2 seconds. I think Moroso's going to catch him within this lap or the next lap. So, yeah, 36 definitely looks slower. So, yeah, I'm just going to guess that he's just trying to stretch it out, see if he can win this thing. But I don't know, man. Moroso, he's going to get him here before long. Dallenbach tries to throw a block on the 20. No luck. Here comes Moroso to officially take the lead from Dallenbach. Excuse me. 5 laps remain for Rob Moroso now. It was quite the effort there from the 36, but just wasn't enough to hold on. And Bobby Hamilton is listed in 10th, so actually, I do wonder, did the 2 MB2 cars just decide to stay out? Well, very interesting to say for sure. We're going to come 3 laps to go here for Rob Moroso. All this after saying Moroso wasn't performing good showed me. I think he heard you. He was like, I'll show you. Watch me. Okay, I'm pretty sure the 36 and the 10 finally pit. So, yeah, I guess they were just trying to stay out for as long as they could. 2 laps to go for Moroso. Moroso, and I took that personally. Well, things are looking good for the Haviland Chevrolet of Rob Moroso as he comes off turn 4. And he will take the white flag this time by final lap here in South Africa. In the turns 3 and 4, he has looked strong here when he needed to the most. Off turn 4, checkered flag waves. Rob Moroso will win at Phakisa Freeway here in South Africa. So Moroso taking home the dub. You know, now I'm starting to wonder if I should root for Jeff Green in 2001. Who knows, right? Who knows? He was on fire with RCR. Yeah, I mean, he's been doing pretty good so far in the handful of years he's been with RCR's Cup team. Green might be champion soon. He could be. He definitely could be. He's got. I think he's got several good competitive years ahead of him. So I think the possibility is definitely there for sure. You know, there's a lot of good drivers I think that can be title contenders in the coming years. It's gonna be fun to watch. So there's your finishing order. I did want to show you something that Jet managed to find. It was the Kelly Williams AOL 31 car that she drove in real life. Where's Mike Skinner again, by the way? Busch Series driving for Express Motorsports. So, okay. Let me do something really quick. Okay, this is the photo right here. Okay. Yeah, let me show you the IRL Kelly Williams picture here. Make this bigger. And then here you go. That is the Kelly Williams 31 AOL Ford that she drove in real life. So kind of reminds me of that time I showed you guys the one pic of Bubba Nissan that was out there. So yeah, just figured I'd show you guys that real quick. Yeah, thank you, Jet, by the way. Oh god, it's beautiful. It's cursed. What timeline is this? A 31 with RCR font on a Ford, and AOL's a sponsor. This would be the case of like time traveler steps on a rock or something, or moves a chair. The timeline. Oh man, looks like a Cars Tour scheme. Looks like a Cars Tour scheme. That's funny. But yeah, so yeah, that's the Kelly Williams real life car that she drove. And I'll go ahead and RCR legend Kelly Williams. Yes. I'll go ahead and show you guys the little slideshow again. So, like I said, I guess Mark is driving a number 06 Chevy. Oh gosh. But yeah, I figured, do this stream, give you guys some more updates. Like I said, sometime this month is the plan for SNL 2001. So, like I said, the footage is done for half the series. The races are complete. So, my plan is to hopefully start the video sometime this coming week. So, that's going to be the plan. And, I'll keep you guys updated. And again, I'll give you guys an official word on what the premiere date will be as soon as I can. So, I apologize that it's taking a little longer than expected, but we're almost there. And I think you're in for something special. I think you're in for some cinema for sure. So, and again, as always, I appreciate your all support so much, and thank you guys for stopping by. Spending your Saturday night here on the stream. So, I'll be there for sure. Absolutely, thank you. So, I'm trying to remember how many people we had tuning in for the premiere last time, but I'm pretty sure it shattered the previous record. A car will win. Yes. I can tell you that. A car is going to win, guys. So, I love your dedication to this timeline after half a decade. Thank you. That means a lot. And, I can't believe it's been half a decade because I remember starting the prologue, during the pandemic shutdown. So, spring of 2020. And, 78 was our peak audience last time. Okay, well, let's see if we can hit 80 this time, and I don't know, at some point maybe hit 100. That would be awesome. So, yeah, seriously, I can't believe it's been that long. And I've actually, I had a shower thought recently. I was like, how long will it be until we get caught up to real time? And I'm currently estimating probably not for another decade or so. If I trend in the direction I'm trending in, maybe 2035, 36, somewhere in there, but that's a long ways away. So, Morty Buckles. Yeah, I've heard of him. I'm sure he'll show up at some point for sure in SNL, so probably something to look at for sure. So, not going to say much, but I do remember that whole story with him. I knew from the beginning, since Tommy Gale won the 1981 Daytona 500, that was going to be a wild ride, and boy howdy, I was right. Yeah, I would argue that in this timeline currently, I think NASCAR is even bigger than what it was in real life by that point, just because of certain things playing out differently. So, I'd say right now NASCAR's in a great spot. So, we'll absolutely try to tune in for 2001. Yeah, absolutely. So, again, regardless, I just appreciate all the support and everything that, all the support you've given to this channel, from starting this series to revitalizing this channel and rebranding it and to what it is now. And this is arguably the best this channel's ever been. So, and I made this channel back in 2009. That's how long I've had this channel. So, have you seen the Fork in the Road 2004 trailer yet? I have. Yes, I have. It looks great. Definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, this month's going to have Fork in the Road premiere 04, and we're going to premiere 2001. So, that's pretty exciting. It's awesome to see. And obviously, shout out to Griff Dog. He's back making videos again. Check out his. He's made a couple videos. He's made some videos already. So if you haven't, check out that as well. Give Griff some love and support as well. And yeah, so if there's any other final comments, questions, concerns, whatever, feel free to fire them off before I go ahead and sign off for the night. But yeah, 2001 is going to be awesome. I can tell you that right now. So, probably take an easy rest tonight, and then I'll get to it tomorrow and all that stuff. I discovered you from the Dale Earnhardt 2021 Daytona 500 video. I remember when I did that. That was a while back, wasn't it? But yeah, we'll keep the train going with SNL. So, like I said, I want to see how the 2000s play out. And what was I gonna say? And I can tell you that there are plenty of other unique ideas to come as well. So, definitely stay tuned, because we definitely got a lot more ideas to come in the coming seasons. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to stop rambling on and probably close up shop for the night. So, again, let's see. The Epic Memer, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning into tonight. Thank you so much for all your support. And stay tuned for Sunday Night Lights 2001. it's coming later this month. So that's the plan. So again, stay tuned for more info, and I will give you guys a date when it's going to premiere. When I feel good about things. So just want to make sure get something set in stone, and we'll go from there. So it's gonna be fun. So again, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the Roval race tomorrow. Pulling for SVG and all that good stuff, because my Bengals are probably gonna get fooled by the Lions again. So we suck. Anyway, sorry. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Take care of yourself and each other. Be good to one another. And I'll see you again very soon.